Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Mitch from Good Stuff Gaming, and today I am doing a tutorial on how I did my zombie AI for the video I did a while back. And this is very simple AI, but it's not, it's definitely quote unquote smart, but not very smart. It's simple, but it gets its job done. So this is how you do it. So what you see here in this scene is all of the game objects you will need. So over here where my mouse is, you can see I've got my map, I've got my player with the camera. I didn't do any fancy camera script or anything, but yeah. I already put player movement in because most people already have a player movement script, so I'm not going to cover that part. And then here I've got the zombie and the zombie's quote unquote eye, which is just there so I can cast a ray. And then I've got the waypoint parent, which is it just happens to be where the player is, but it does not. It's stationary because it is just a parent. Now, what else you're going to need? Let's see here. I have got this box scene. All it is a scene with one thing, which is the waypoint, and it is a little box just so you can see what's happening. So you need a scene with that, and then if we want to do zombie spawning, which I might as well cover since I'm doing an AI thing. So if you want to do zombie spawning, you would have to make another scene with a zombie that you want to be spawned in. So why don't we do that right now? So zombie scene, and then we will make a zombie, and we will be instantiating this scene. So let's select a model. For me it's Elise, and then we can add physics. So it's going to be a dynamic capsule. I think the radius is 1.5, no, 1.2, and the height is 1.5, no, it's 2. Let's double check here. 2.5. Okay, so actually, why don't we do this actually? Let's just let's take this zombie out and then just do it all, and we'll do a tutorial on the instantiating as well. So we are going to make zombie eye, and then we're going to put that at 0, 0, 0, and then we move it up to like 2.5, no, or was it 1.75? Yeah, 1.75 for my particular model. Now that we have this scene put together, we got to get to the scripting part. So you're going to need 3 scripts, which are these. I just named them whatever they are, and then tutorial, but obviously you don't have to name them that. So I just put that in real quick just because, but in our zombie scene we're going to want to add a script to this, and it is going to be the zombie tutorial script, and that will cover movement. And so first thing we're gonna want to do is make a global variable which is called isAggroed, and we're going to make that nil. And we're also going to put that, I'm going to open up all three scripts, they're all empty. So we're going to put that in our Waypoint script as well. So isAggroed equals nil, because you have to define it in every script that it is used in, or else it won't work. And now what we're going to do, and the Waypoint script is going to be the timer that spawns waypoints on your character and stuff whenever it gets aggroed on you. So first things first, let's get the zombie script going here. So we are going to here define the I, which is going to be its zombie I. So we're going to define that. Oh, that should be an uppercase S. So it's so self.I equals CraftStudio.findGameObject zombie I. And we're going to use that to cast array. So what we're going to do now, if I remember anything, we're going to add it back in, but I can't remember right now. So first thing we do here is we're going to define the zombie's position. So self.pos, because this is going into the zombies, or into the zombie in the scene, so we don't have to define the zombie. So self.GameObject transform get position. So that's going to keep track of our zombie's position. And then self.orientation is self.GameObject dot transform get, gosh darn it, get orientation. Okay, so now what we are going to do is create our array. So this is going to be a local variable named, let's just call it myArray, and then it is going to be array : new, and then self.pos, and then comma, and then we're going to make a vector3 transform. So this means that we're combining two vectors. So if we look at our scene here, and you look at zombie I, this blue arrow, which is our z-axis, is pointing backward. So if I am correct, we want to point the ray in the opposite direction of that, which means it's going to be a negative vector3 forward. And then we're going to combine that with self.orientation, because we have to make sure that it's always pointing where the zombie is pointed. Now, what we want to do after that is judge whether this ray is hitting our player or not. So if myArray, let's see if myArray, oh actually let's define that. Yep, see that's something we have to define. Okay, so self dot player is cs.find gosh darn it, cs.find game object player, and then so if myArray intersects model renderer, and then it'll be self.player.model renderer, then, and so we want it to say is aggroed equals true. Now what the problem with this is that if the player is only in front of the zombie for a split second, it'll take off the true. So what we're going to do here is say if is aggroed, then, so we don't have to say equals true because that's just shorthand. So if is aggroed, then is aggroed equals true, and that will make it so that whenever it gets set to true, it gets set to true permanently. And we're also going to add in all of our zombie movement to this. So let's see here. This is actually where I want to break off and do our waypoint script. So as we can see, we have our is aggroed variable here, and whenever the zombie aggroes, this nil will get set to true. And what we'll want to do now is let's define our scene so we don't have to do it in script. So self.pointScene equals cs.findAsset. What is our scene named? Box scene. Box scene. And that's going to be the scene we are appending. I believe we're appending the scene so that we can keep this waypoint named waypoint. And then we are going to want self.timer because we're going to be counting up to tell when to place down a waypoint. And I believe we are also going to have a function here, so function behavior and then set or spawn point. Let's do that. Spawn point. And so what we're going to do is in the update we're going to constantly count the timer up, so self.timer equals self.timer plus 1. Then we're going to ask it if self.timer, let's say we want to spawn a waypoint every half a second, because then the zombie will be more precise in how it follows you. If self.timer is greater than or equal to, let's see, half a second would be, if we're going 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, right? It's counting up 1/60th every 60th of a second. So that means that half a second would be 30. If greater than or equal to 30, we want it to perform the spawn point function and then set the timer back to 0, and then it'll count up again and so on. So now what we want to do is instantiate our waypoint. So cs dot append, well, it's not, we're not instantiating, we're appending a scene. What are we doing? append scene. Now let me just check the wiki real quick. You probably can't see it. So the scene asset to append, and then we want to set it a parent. That's right. Okay. So we want to append self dot point scene, and then let's actually define our parent as well. So self dot point parent equals cs dot find game object waypoint parent. So that is in our scene with the zombie. Well, the zombie's not there. In our scene with the player, we have our waypoint parent right here. That's just stationary. It acts as something that we can reference all the children from. So let's go back to our script here, and we're going to set the parent to self.point parent, and I believe that would be it for the waypoint script. If that's what it is. I mean, what would we be doing if, so we actually have to make it, sorry, I forgot, we have to make it if is aggroed, then we spawn the point. Now what we could also do, actually wait, hold up, yeah, that's right. So let's do that. We're going to have a constant loop going, and only if you're aggroed will it spawn the points every half second. Then now I think we're done with that script, if I am not mistaken. So yeah. Oh, that reminds me, since we're doing the whole instantiate thing, we're going to have to make another script. So let's see here, zombie spawner. Excuse me, I just burped. That's not very nice. Alright, zombie spawner script now. Let's see here. Let's make a game object for that, I guess. So let's go back to our scene here and create a new object, zombie spawner, and we're just gonna make it so that if you get close it'll spawn a zombie. So let's give it let's just set it to 000 for a sec, bring that up to 2, let's drag it over here or something. So let's go 31, and let's just give it something so we know what it is. So let's just give it the block. So this block right here is going to be our zombie spawner. Right, like that. So now we know where to get close to. So let's see here. If we add 5 to that, no, 36, my bad. So then 31. Okay, yeah, 5 seems like a good spot. So in our zombie spawner script, let's define our player. So self.player equals cs.find game object player. And then we're also going to define, actually we only need to define the player position, so player pos. So dot transform get position. There, okay. And then self dot pos equals self dot game object dot transform get position. So these are the two vector 3s. Oh wait, hold up. That should actually be in the update because it will be an ever-changing variable. So these are these two things right here. These are the two vectors that we are keeping track of in order to know if we want to spawn a zombie. So let's actually, speaking of, let's make a function. Function behavior, behavior spawn zombie. And actually we're going to make a timer, because as long as the player is within our thing, we will spawn a zombie every, say, 5 seconds. So self.timer, we're going to just set it to 0. And now we are going to constantly count up. So self.timer equals self.timer plus 1. So then let's actually make another variable called self.is close. So this will be our variable to judge whether the player is close or not. So we're going to start it as false. And then we're going to ask our script, we're going to ask our script, hold up, not yet. We're actually going to define one more thing. So self.player distance, this is going to be the distance between our zombie spawner and the player. So equals vector3.distance, and then we're going to choose our two vector 3s, so self.pause and self.player pause. Now we are going to ask our script what's up with this distance thing. So if self.player distance is less than or equal to 5, then oh, hold up, this function should just have an end. I'm nitpicky like that. Self spawn zombie. Now actually we're going to wrap that all in another function. So if self.timer is greater than or equal to, let's see, what's 5 seconds? I've got a calculator right here. So 60 times 5 is 300 ticks. So if it's greater than or equal to 300, we do that, and self.timer equals 0, which will reset it, and then it'll recount back up to 300 again. Now in our spawn zombie function, what we want to do is we want to append a scene again, but what we might want to do is instantiate, because then we can give it a name that makes it easy for target designation if you want to shoot the zombies, because we can name and we won't be parenting it. Actually, yeah, we will. No, never mind. Well, you know what? If you guys want a tutorial on how I did the, if you saw on the forums, I was helping someone out with target designation and making their bullets actually do damage to multiple targets. So if you want me to do that, I'll do that. But right now we're just going to append the scene because that makes it easy. So we're going to append scene, and our scene, let's define that in our awake function. So hello. So, what the heck? There we go. Self dot zombie scene. Gosh darn it. Equals cs dot find asset, and then the name is literally zombie scene. So we will tell it to find that asset for us right away, so we don't have to define it right now. So it'll be self.zombie scene. And then we also have to define a parent. No, we don't have to define a parent. So we will just say append scene, the zombie scene. And I believe that is it for our zombie spawner. So let's add that to our game object. Tutorial zombie spawner. Let's see here. Now, let's see, is there anything unfinished here? Because let's see here. No, I don't think there's anything that's unfinished, so let's just give this a try. Okay, let's see here. So it could not load Waypoint tutorial because the then is expected near an if. Line 12. Oh, well. That would make sense. And what was the other error? Line 13 of zombie spawner. Oh, that also needs a then. Okay. Now let's give it a shot. Now you guys won't be able to see this. Oh, I got another error. What? Okay, zombie spawner line 13. Oh, is. That should be an if. Now let's give it a shot. Oh my gosh, another error. Line 16 now. That should be there. And hopefully there's no more errors. Ah, good. Okay, let's just make sure it spawns a zombie. Oh, it does spawn a zombie. Okay, good. Alright, that's working. But that's one thing I forgot. In our zombie scene, we have to freeze the X, Y, and Z rotations. Make sure you do that. Now, what we probably want to do, actually, when we append it, is then find the game object. So local new zombie equals cs.find game object. Well, actually, then hold up. Oh crap, I just opened Steam on accident. Can I give it scene to instantiate parent? Okay, so I have to set its position. See, I want to set the new zombie's position to... Actually, you know what I got an idea. This is a good workaround. Let's make the zombie spawner the parent, and then whenever we set the position, we can take away the parent. We might be able to do that. Yeah, let's give that a shot. 1 sec. It'll be kind of paused right now while I look at the CraftStudio scripting reference. Let's see here. Game object functions. I know I can get parent and set parent. Now I think I can set the parent to a nil, right? Or actually I can I set it to, yeah, I think I can set it to a nil. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so what we want to do, so new zombie, find game, or actually, yeah, let's set the parent. So let's make a new parent here. Actually, no, the parent's going to be the zombie spawner. Okay. So let's define that. So self dot zombie parent equals cs dot find game object zombie spawner, and then we do not, oh right. Okay, so self dot, we're gonna set our parent to self dot zombie parent. That should be lowercase. Now new zombie equals self dot zombie parent get child, or is it get child? Find child. It should be find child. Find game object zombie, which I believe is what we named. Yep. Okay. So find game object zombie, and then what we want to do now is new zombie dot transform. Actually, no, it would be dot physics actually, because we're going to be teleporting it to a specific spot. So physics teleport, and then we're going to want to create a new vector3. So vector3 new, and then we're going to want to set it at a specific location in our scene. So why don't we just spawn it right on top of our spawner? So 31 2.50 would be good, I think. Let's see here. So vector3 new 31 2.50, and then new zombie set parent nil. Now I believe if we give this a shot, and again you won't be able to see, oh, we got an error. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So line 26 we need line 25 actually. Oh, yep. Now let's give it a shot. No errors so far. Oh wow. Okay, that just spawned a crap load of zombies. Okay. Find gam object. That isn't good. Let's change that. And let's give it another shot. Oh, hold up. I like to scroll down so I can see. Okay, now let's see here. Invalid arguments to method call. Is that the set parent? Get children. Well, let's see. Find child, then find game object zombie. It's saying I can't do that. Alright then. Well, let's just do this. Get children. And then new zombie 1 1. Now let's give it a try. There we go, that worked. Alright, perfect. It works now. I think. Let's actually print new zombie real quick so we can double check to see if it actually does make the parent nil. Come on, I'm within 5. There it is. Okay. So let's see, it prints a table, which leads me to believe that it does not set the parent to nil. So why don't we do this? Let's make another game object, so zombie spawner and then zombie parent, and then just move it over here or whatever. And then let's just take off the block thing and that script, because it'll just be a stationary thing. Doesn't actually do anything. And let's set that, let's set the thing here. So cs.find, actually no, let's define it up in the awake, and then we don't have to do that down there. So self.zombie parent 2 equals cs.find game object zombie parent. And then what we can do now is set the parent to self dot zombie parent 2. And then let's give that a shot. Okay. See, I don't know. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Print. Actually, you know what? Let's just hope. Let's just hope it works. And then, if it doesn't work, oh well. It works for our purposes, I believe. Now, we are done with all the zombie spawning. And I believe the waypoint stuff as well. So now let's go into the point script. Just real quick, we are going to make another timer equals 0. And all we're going to do is count the timer up by 1, and we will be asking it if self.timer equals, is greater than or equal to 300, we want it like 5 seconds. Then cs.destroy self.gameObject, because in our box scene, what we want is for our point script to be in this little waypoint, because when we append the scene, it literally copies the scene and throws it in to the scene with your player. So, oh wait, that reminds me, that's one more thing we have to put in the waypoint script. So let's open that back up. So this is essentially just saying, if 5 seconds has passed and I haven't been visited, destroy me. So that's another thing we want. So self dot is visited equals false. And then so if not self dot is visited and oh crap. So let's put that in parentheses just to make sure it's only doing that. So if not self dot is visited and self dot timers greater than 300 or 5 seconds, then destroy the game object. Or if, actually, why am I saying if? We don't want an if. We want to define self dot let's see, self dot zombie parent, actually, and then cs dot find game. Actually, no, that's gonna be an ever-changing thing because we're getting the children. So let's make it a local, and then local zombie parent cs define game object zombie parent get children, and then we're going to do this. So for I equals 1, number zombie parent do. So what this is essentially saying is, if we start at 1, for every, or for how many children there are for this parent, zombie parent, we are doing this. So this is continuous, so it's going to run through it and then run through it again every time our script is updating. So local zombie equals zombie parent, and then I, because I is counting up to the number of zombies that there are. So our zombie every time is like, it's going to be going through this for however many times there are zombies in the parent. So zombie parent I, so it's going to be the number, or the child, of zombie parent for I number. And then we're going to say zombie parent I dot transform get position. Oh shoot, this actually might be kind of difficult for multiple zombies. Actually, no, it wouldn't. No. It see, what I'm thinking is that when the closest zombie reaches the waypoint, then the other ones will lose a waypoint, but the way I code it is that they always look for the closest waypoint, or the one nearest the top, so to speak. Well, actually, yeah, technically. So yeah, never mind. So we're getting the position of the zombie, and then we're also getting the position of, we're also going to define the waypoint. So local waypoint parent equals cs.find game object waypoint waypoint parent get children, and then we're going to, oh wait, no, this is the waypoint, so never mind. Local pause equals self.gameObject dot transform get position. Never mind. Okay. Then we're going to create a vector here, so local, or a distance vector, so local point dist equals vector 3 dot distance, and then we're going to do pause and zombie, which is what we defined right here. And then if point dist is less than or equal to, say, 1, then we are going to destroy the game object. So cs.destroy self.gameObject. So that is essentially, that's what our point is. That's the whole purpose of our point here, is to give the zombie a sense of direction. So we've got that part done. So I think we're done with point script. Now back to waypoint here. What we want to do is create a position variable for the player. So self.playerPause equals cs.findGame object player transform get position, and then down here in our spawn point we are going to hold up, I just got an idea. We actually don't do this in the waypoint. The waypoint spawning script. Let's actually do this in the point script. So what we can do is, before we do all of this instantiating of the timer and stuff, what we can do is local player pause equals cs.find game object player transform get position. Sorry if this is kind of all over the place. That should be a colon. And then what we want to actually do is self.gameObject.transform set position player pause. So essentially that means that whenever this point, the box scene point, is appended, it sets itself at the position that the player is at that specific time. Then we don't have to worry about doing that in our waypoint script here. So I think that's it for the point script. I think we put that in our box, right? Yes, okay. Now, let's see here. Now that we've got that done, we now want to code our zombie. So, what we want to do is define our waypoint parent. So cs.findGameObject waypoint parent. That should not be a capital P for waypoint. Get children waypoint parent, whatever. Now what we want to do is tell the zombie to look at the waypoint. So what we want to do is so local, we want to define the waypoint that is the least recent, which would be if we looked at the ladder here, whenever all these are getting put right, when this is getting parented, or when they are getting parented to that, or becoming children of our zombie or waypoint parent, the newest one always goes on the very bottom. So the least recent would be the one at the very top on the ladder. So let's say this was the parent camera, is the least recent instantiated object. So we can use that and say local near waypoint equals waypoint parent 1. Now what we can do with that is self.gameObject I think, is it a transform function? Let's look. You guys can't see me looking, but I am looking at the scripting reference right now. I believe it's a transform. Or is it? Yes, okay. So we look at a vector3 target. So what we now want to do is self.gameObject.transform look at waypoint parent 1 transform position. Sorry, I forgot to add that in there. .transform get position. Look at near waypoint. And then what we want to do, I think, is look at the negative near waypoint. Now what I'm going to do to be lazy is grab the movement part from my existing AI script. Oh, that's something I forgot. So let's see here. So I love how this is literally just saying waypoint number 1, but whatever. Yeah, okay, so let's go back here. So essentially what I did there is I need it to say if the number of waypoints, so let's actually do that here. So if number waypoint parent doesn't equal 0, then we do all of this stuff. Then else, what did I do? I don't even... Oh, it looks at the player. That's right. So, did we already define the player position? No. So let's just define that over here. So local player pos equals self dot player transform get position. So then we can tell it to look at self dot game object dot transform, look at negative player pos, because if I am correct, okay, well let's try it without the negatives, and then if it's not right, then we will add them. And then let's copy all this stuff. So this is all movement stuff. Oh wait, that's not. This is all movement stuff. So if you want to, essentially this is just taken out of my player movement script. So take all this, we have to define a speed that we want. So self dot speed equals, let's start it at 10 just to see how it goes. And then what we want to do now is see right here, it says if the number of waypoints is not 0. So if it's anything greater than 0, then we apply the impulse of move. So let's just copy that because I'm too lazy to type it out. But if you want to know, oh gosh, what did I do? What the crap, what did I do? What don't I have? I should be there. I don't know why I did not copy this. Control C, Control V. Okay, there we go. So if number waypoint parent does not equal 0, then we apply an impulse of move, and this is only if it's aggroed. And then we could also do this whole thing with animations, but we do not need to do that. And then we can also add in a de-aggroing function here. So if is aggroed, and what's our distance vector here? Oh, we haven't defined a vector distance thing, so let's define that. Local follow distance oh, and this whole is aggro thing wouldn't work for a bunch of zombies across like a whole town, but that's easy fix. That's an easy fix. If you want to fix it yourself, it would not be too hard. So local follow distance equals vector 3 dot distance. And then I think we got a player position, right? Player pause and pause. Okay, so if is aggroed and follow distance is greater than or equal to, let's say 50, then and we will say is aggroed equals false. So this thing, all of this has to do with other stuff. So this stuff has to do with animating, but I'm not going to cover that because it's pretty self-explanatory if you've dealt with animations before. And then this is just for for when I did the zombie AI demo. Whenever he would fall off, he would teleport back to where he started. So let's see, I'm going to test this and then I'll stop my recording if it works, and I will show you the finished product of our little adventure here. So, oh, we got an error. So zombie tutorial line 42, the variable pause. Oh, it's self.pause. Now let's give it a shot. Self.pause. Alright, now let's see if it works. Okay, our zombie spawned, but it does not. Let's see if the ray is on that side. Yes, okay, the ray was on the opposite side. So let's go back up here and change that to vector 3 forward instead of negative vector 3 forward. Now, I do not think it was spawning the waypoints, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just double check that it is indeed not spawning waypoints. Yes, it is looking at the player, but I'm not spawning any waypoints. So let's go into our waypoint script and see if there's any problems. Okay guys, I'm really stupid. What I forgot to do is put the actual waypoint script in the waypoint parent. So essentially, whenever I spawned a zombie and I aggroed it, it wouldn't spawn the points because there was no script telling it to spawn the points. I do that way too often. So what I'm going to do is actually double check that I can make it work without those lines, because I added those in just for testing. So let's spawn a zombie. You guys can't see it. Oh, oh, yeah. Point script tutorial 9. That should be that. Failed to perform arithmetic. A nil value. Let's close out of that. Let's put it up there and try it. Spawn a zombie. Position. Oh, goodness. Okay. Position. And let's try it one more time. Oh my god. Oh, what did I do? Oh, that should not be there. I did that also for testing purposes. Last time. Let's see if it works. If not, I will be angry. Oh, it worked. Okay. Now I had it changed so that it would spawn every second instead. So let's change it back to every half second. And that should be it. Let's try it with 2 zombies, and then I will cut and show you the in-game footage. Spawned 1 zombie, and spawned 2. Let's aggro both of them. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, wow. This Tory. Oh, good thing we caught that. Destroy. And then let's actually make this in 1.2 or so. And give it another shot. And I know you guys can't see this, but I just want to make sure it works before I show you any in-game footage. So let's get another zombie spawned in here. Come on, where are you? There we go. Okay, we got 3 zombies. And they are all following the dots. Okay. Good stuff. I will cut this and then I'll show you a bit of in-game. And that will be the tutorial. Alright guys, here we are in game. We have our player moving around here, and here is our zombie spawner. So let's let a couple spawn. Let's let 3 spawn, or 4 actually. So let's let 1 more spawn and then we'll aggro them. Alright. So as you can tell, I walked behind those other zombies and they still aggroed, because I have a global aggro variable that controls all of the zombies. We might want to increase their speed because they're going kind of slow. I can easily run away from them. But I have a global variable that causes every single zombie to become aggroed. So what? Oh crap! What you might want to do what you might want to do is, if you want only the zombie that you aggroed to become aggro, then what you want to do is probably create a variable for that zombie only, but that kind of complicates things, so I'll have to figure that out. But this kind of works as a basic thing. Oh yeah, that zombie's got to destroy itself. But yeah, that will be your tutorial. That's an easy fix. Like, just say if get the position of the zombie, and then if it's below like Y position 60, then just destroy it. So yeah, that's your tutorial on how to do the zombie AI. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it helped you. It also kind of showed how I go through my scripting process, so that is also good. And I guess I will see you guys later.